So here's the big question. How do you sell heavy-duty parts in a digital world? That's the question, and this is the place where you're going to find the answers. My name is Jamie Irvin, and we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another edition of Jamie Irvin Live. Today is Thursday, Today is Thursday, August 26th. We are almost to September. And I am happy to have you with me today. Today, we're going to be talking about Salesforce Alignment. We're going to talk about what's at stake, what not to do, what you should do. But before that, let's go through a couple things. This is a live broadcast. We would love to have you comment and participate in today's conversation by making a comment or asking a question. We'll be looking for your participation today. This live stream is also sponsored by the Heavy Duty Parts Report. Now, the Heavy Duty Parts Report, you can follow it for free by going to heavydutypartsreport.com. And we put out a new podcast episode every Monday, so you can follow that and subscribe right on the website or on the podcast player of your choice, as well as you can watch the video version on YouTube. Lots of ways for you to consume our podcast. Now, let's get to the focus of our conversation. So this live series I've been doing is all about how to sell heavy-duty parts in a digital world. Today, we're going to focus on how to align your Salesforce with your digital sales channel. The last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the pillars of digital sales channel transformation. It starts with online content. Next is the e-commerce platform. This is the third pillar of really transitioning and making a digital sales channel a true success in your business. So what is involved in it? What's at stake? Well, here's what's at stake. If you get this right, companies who have done this correctly see their revenue rapidly grow. If you get this wrong, you can actually have your sales team eroding the effectiveness of your digital sales channel. You can have conflict internally. You can lose revenue opportunities, and months of work building out a digital sales channel can fall flat. And so this is a big deal. This is important. You got to get this right. If you don't, it's not going to be good news for you and your company. One of the most dangerous things that can happen is the leadership of a company and the sales force at a company can convince themselves that what they're not doing doesn't work. When it's working for other companies, but it's not working for them, and they've convinced themselves that, this thing doesn't work. And what actually is going on is they are not doing the things they need to do to make it successful. And so while other companies are succeeding, your company could struggle. It's a big deal. Now, I want to really focus in on one thing specifically. That is that I hear a lot of people when they talk to me, you can tell that they see the digital sales channel transforming from the traditional distribution model of heavy-duty parts to a digital sales channel is a zero-sum game. It's an either or. It is not an either or. The digital sales channel that we've been talking about setting up is an enhancement to what you are doing in the offline world. And it does not mean that we ignore the best practices that have been developed over decades of successfully distributing heavy-duty parts through the traditional channel. So it's not an either or. And if everybody can understand that, then you have a better chance of achieving alignment, not just with your sales force, but with your entire company. Now, think about what the digital sales channel enhances, things that we were already doing. So salespeople, one of your primary roles, especially in the past, was to bring relevant information, to communicate relevant information that customers needed to hear to either decide to buy for the first time or to continue buying from your company. The digital sales channel with online content takes that role from the salesperson and makes it the responsibility of the entire company. But this doesn't mean that salespeople are not still going to be involved in the distribution of that content. Just because you've put it on social media, sent out an email blast, or posted a video on YouTube does not mean all of your customers have seen that content. It is very important for salespeople to not only deliver some of the online content that's being made directly to their customers, but to actually use that content to open up opportunities for more robust or more important business development conversations that will actually lead to overall business growth with that customer. So, a good example could be that maybe the company has gone and put together a short series of videos that really describes the main problems your company solves, the the economic impact of those problems, and how your company's solution is differentiated in the marketplace and is a value proposition that is very important to the prospective customers that you as a salesperson are pursuing. You can use these videos to actually move the sales conversation along and achieve a point in time with that prospect where they become a customer for the first time, or with existing customers, perhaps they will increase the amount of business they do with you. So, salespeople have the opportunity to leverage all of the digital content that's being made and to use it to move customers through the pipeline faster and get more people buying more products. Now, let's look at something else. The buying experience. As a sales account manager selling heavy duty parts, a large portion of my time was spent working with my customers to make it as easy as possible for them to buy parts from us. So that could have involved me helping them discover or decide what part should they buy, right? So which line should I go with that's going to be the best line for my application to lower cost per mile? Perhaps it was that I would actually facilitate the sale and phone the order into the parts counter for them. Or there was some issue that came up and I had to deal with that issue to try to make sure that the account was current, the bills were paid, any credits that were owed were given, and this greased the wheel of doing business with the company I represented. The digital sales channel just enhances that with e-commerce. By providing customers with e-commerce, it makes it easier for them to buy from you. Now, salespeople may become very fearful. Well, if this e-commerce thing works, am I going to be out of a job? And this is where I would caution the leaders of parts companies to really tread carefully here. Yes, you are going to set up an e-commerce platform. Yes, we are automating the buying experience and making it as easy as possible for customers to buy. But for the most part, in the heavy duty truck world, we're talking about a lot of complex sales. So there are commodity items that get purchased almost on just an automatic, right? We buy a skid of brake shoes every month or two and a skid of drums. We buy our 7-inch round tail lights, things like that. But when it comes to selling an entire product line, when it comes to making a decision, a critical decision about which product is best suited for a specific application, this is the place where your salespeople should be spending most of their time. Not to mention, salespeople also can play an important role in reaching new customers and making them aware of the digital sales channel that your company has set up. So, salespeople, they're a little could be a little worried that all this digit talk about, incorporating a digital sales channel in the business is going to cause them to lose their job. But if they're smart, they're going to leverage all the online content. They're going to capitalize on how e-commerce makes the buying experience easier, and they're going to become more valuable to the kinds of customers where they can bring the most value. And in doing so, the revenue of the company will start to really rapidly grow because the salespeople will be bringing more and more customers on board. They'll be helping them with complex sales. They'll be helping them solve real problems. Meanwhile, as those companies get used to buying from you and your company, then the salespeople benefit because revenue goes up and they will share in that with commissions. But the digital sales channel will make it so that customers can buy faster and more often and more regularly from you. And all of this creates a situation where when all of this is aligned, you get the maximum return on investment for everything that you've done. So once a order has been placed with an e-commerce site, the other thing that's really important to remember is that that triggers a order fulfillment system which is completely offline. The part still has to be picked, delivered, the core picked up, the credit given for that core charge if it's a reman product. All of that has to happen in the offline world. And so the digital sales channel is very important, but it's just enhancing the things that we did traditionally with the old model. It's just new tools that makes us more effective to do it better, faster, and to give our customers a better buying experience. And salespeople who really understand this and tap into it have an opportunity to exponentially grow in the amount of business that they do. Leaders of companies, though, I will caution you, do not screw over your salespeople. As long as your salespeople are out there serving your customers, it doesn't matter that they bought it online versus phoning into the parts counter. In fact, you should pay your salespeople more if they're generating more and more customers buying through an e-commerce platform, because your whole economy of scale has been achieved and your costs are going down because it's cheaper now to process an order than to have all of those parts people on the counter answering phones, not having enough time, barely able to keep up, customers having to wait for an hour or two sometimes for someone to get back to them. This whole digital sales channel will actually reduce the amount of bottlenecks that happen with people trying to buy from you. So don't see this as, well, our salespeople aren't doing anything anymore. If the salesperson is doing it correctly, if they're motivated correctly, if they're incentivized correctly, they're going to be out there and they're not going to waste time on commodity type sales that can happen just automatically with an e-commerce platform. They're going to be focused on the complex sales. And these are the sales that bring entire product lines on with a new customer. This is the type where you can stop selling a $50 cheap spring brake and start selling a $150 one from someone like MGM Brakes, thereby saving customers so much money on the back end by lowering their total cost of operation and their cost per mile. So it's the alignment of all of these things together, bringing them all together, having your Salesforce fully leverage the power of the online content, using that in the sales process to move customers through the buying journey, through the pipeline, and getting them to new, prospects to new customers, customers to buying more products. Salespeople leveraging that, the company leveraging, making it easier to do business with you, to buy parts from you with an e-commerce platform. And then having the sales teams focused on the complex sales and on converting more customers and making more customers aware of this great system that you've built that makes it easy for them to buy from you. And then also the company needs to take advantage of the economies of scale that are achieved and reinvest into the order fulfillment systems to make them more efficient, so that the entire company is going to be transformed. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about what it looks like when the company is transformed and how a company will move from the traditional distribution model finally to a completely embedded digital sales channel where the entire company has transformed and all of the interactions with the company, both internally and externally, are done digitally. We're going to talk about that next week. If you would like help with integrating, transitioning to a digital sales channel, integrating that into your business, doing the online content, bringing an e-commerce platform on board, aligning the Salesforce. If you would like help with all of that, head over, email me at jamie@heavydutypartsreport.com. So just send me an email. We'll set up an initial consultation. We will talk about your specific situation. I'll put together a proposal and we'll start working together to bring your business to a place where you will be able to sell more heavy duty parts in this digital world using a digital sales channel. So I look forward to working with you. Email me, jamie@heavydutypartsreport.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to this third edition of this four-part series where we're talking about these pillars. This is something like week 17. We've been talking about how to sell heavy duty parts in a digital world. If you've been enjoying this and if you think other people can really get some value from it, why not share it? I look forward to talking to you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.